Poland holds a beauty that feels both ancient and youthful. Nowhere else do the past and the present blend so seamlessly. Its nature stretches from deep forests to peaceful plains. The fresh air and a gentle rhythm of life easily capture one's heart. Polish culture is rich and vibrant, reflected in every smile and the sounds of small towns. Each season reveals a different landscape, full of colors and emotions. And this journey begins with the wonders of its natural lands. The Tatra National Park, or the Tatrzański Park Narodowy in Polish, is the national park that covers the majority of the highest mountains around the town of Zakopane in southern Poland. It protects a large swathe of the country's stunning highlands immediately south of the town of Zakopane. The Tatra National Park encompasses a whole run of various mountain valleys, known locally as Dolina. They go from Wysopołana in the east to the remote Dolina Czorsztyn in the west. As they creep southwards, those valleys eventually meet the front range of the Tatras themselves, which very suddenly get to over 2,500 meters above sea level at the summit of Risi, the tallest mountain in Poland. Risi is actually one of the easternmost summits here. Off its craggy top spans a whole ridge that runs the length of the Slovakian border. That links up some of the most iconic mountains in the region, from Kasprowy Wieś, the home of the only ski resort in the high Tatras of southern Poland, to Gaborowa Przyłęcz Wyżnia. At lower levels, you can expect to see beautiful forests of spruce and fir, all cut through by gurgling rivers that will almost completely freeze over in winter to showcase icicle-filled waterfalls. Go higher, and you can leave behind the woods to reach exposed ridges that have stunning views into Slovakia and across the Polish foothills to the north. There are also quite a few quaint little mountain huts located within park boundaries. They're open all year, at least most are, and sell a range of Polish food, like dumplings, soups, hot chocolates, and even some hiking gear like spikes to help you nail those winter hikes. Finally, this is also where you'll find the iconic Kasprowy cable car. It's one of the great engineering feats of the region. It was first opened way back in 1936, but has since been rebuilt. It can take you up to the highest ski runs in the country, or just for lunch in a, rather price, panoramic restaurant. The best way to spend a night inside the boundaries of the Tatra National Park in Poland is to book yourself into one of the mountain huts run by the PTTK. Built from natural stone, wood, and timber tiles, they ooze highland vibes and offer cozy little rooms as close to the peaks as you can get. Of course, they don't have vehicular access, so you will have to hike to them. You can string together 2, 3, or even more days of hiking, staying in huts as you go. The Tuchola Forest is more than just one of the largest forest complexes in Poland. It is a living mosaic of nature, culture, and history that invites you to discover it on your own terms. This vast complex of Tuchola forests stretches over almost 3,000 square kilometers, acting as a kind of green lung of our country. Due to the fact that the Tuchola forests grow on such a large scale, they are of great importance not only locally, but also nationally. They filter the air, produce oxygen, and at the same time, captivate with their peace and wildness, which is missing in cities. This is where wildlife meets rich cultural heritage, a perfect mix for those who want to relax, learn something new, or simply feel close to nature. The Tuchola forest is characterized by incredible biodiversity. Here, you will find mixed forests, marshes, lakes, and rivers of the Tuchola forest, including the Burda and WDA, which create ideal living conditions for wild animals. Deer, wolves, storks, and even rare butterflies feel at home here. It is worth knowing that this region is also a true haven for naturalists, not only for scientists, but also for each of us who seeks contact with nature in its pure form. The Tuchola forest is also unique in terms of culture. In its area, you will find traces of ancient civilizations, from archaeological sites to old chapels and wooden huts. It is here that the inhabitants of the Tuchola forest have for centuries created a unique culture, fragments of which are still alive, for example, in the language, costumes, and handicrafts. This picturesque area of the Tuchola forest is not only a green enclave, it is also a space full of adventures where you can explore the Tuchola forest in many ways, on foot, by bike, by kayak, or by car. Czorsztyn Lake is an artificial water body which exists thanks to construction of the dam at Dunajec River. The lake has a very picturesque location between two highland areas, Pieniny and Czorsztyn Mountains. Depending on the level of water the lake has from 4.15 to 13.35 square kilometers. With the highest level of water, the length of the coastline is 29.7 kilometers. Apart from the obvious tourist positive aspects of the lake, such as possibility of bathing, sailing, fishing, or diving, The great values include also two castles at the banks of the lake, Wieliczka Castle and Czorsztyn ruins. Wieliczka is a small town, but the largest among the towns located directly by the lake. In Wieliczka, you can also visit the water dam. It is an interesting walking path and viewpoint overlooking the lake. You can easily access it with a stroller. The town, especially around the castle, water dam and beach, can be bustling and crowded. The Karkonosze National Park protects the highest part of the Sudetes, along with their highest peak, Śnieżka. There certainly is a reason for this mountain to have such a name, because there is always a lot of snow in the Karkonosze Mountains. The peak of Śnieżka extends far above the forestless mountain plains, called the table-like top, overgrown with vegetation resembling the Arctic tundra. Below, the slopes of the Karkonosze Mountains descend steeply into rocky cirques. Thousands of years ago, these cirques were filled with glaciers. Today, charming mountain ponds can be found in two of them. The national park extends down to the foothills. The lowest part of it is Mount Czorsztyn. It is crowned with a medieval castle situated on granite rocks. Such rocks are one of the characteristic elements of the Karkonosze landscape. The Karkonosze Mountains are home to the highest peaks in the Sudetes and are characterized by their rugged mountains and glacial kettles. While the peaks create a stunning backdrop in Karkonosze National Park, over half of the region is covered in forested sections. Streams, lakes, rivers, and large boulders are dotted throughout the forest, along with fields of peat bog. On the border of Poland and Slovakia, and just 100 kilometers from Wieliczka, the Pieniny Mountains offer a plethora of scenery and outdoor experiences, with rafting on the Dunajec River being the highlight. The road to the Pieniny Mountains is stunning, full of turns and breathtaking views of the several mountain ranges. On wooden rafts, guided by raftsmen in traditional garb, you'll float through Dunajec Gorge, one of the most beautiful sections of Pieniny National Park, the oldest national park in Poland and the first international protected area in Europe, with Poland on the left and Slovakia on the right. The Pieniny Mountains are also great for hiking, with well-marked trails running through the most beautiful peaks, hills, and glades. The village of Czerwony Klasztor is the seat of administration of the National Park of Pieniny. The National Park of Pieniny is rich in rare species of plants, with several local endemites. The equally varied fauna covers 766 species of butterflies, 99 species of mollusks, and more than 200 species of vertebrae. In the rocks and on forest pathways, one can, for instance, meet a lynx or see an otter hunting in the water of the Dunajec River. It is recommended to climb the tallest top of the Pieniny Mountains, Trikoruni, lying on the Polish side of the park. The beauty of these three sharp rocks, though, can be also admired rafting down the river. The compound of limestone rocks, the Haligowski Skali, attracts with its numerous caves and cavities. Wieliczka is a small town just 14 kilometers south of Kraków, famous for its salt mines, considered among the oldest in the world. The site was discovered in the 13th century and became a source of prosperity for many Polish merchants. Over time, the mine expanded, enriching itself with caves, works of art, chapels, and underground lakes. For more than 4 centuries, it represented the most important industrial complex in Poland. Mining continued until 1996, when the mine was turned into a tourist attraction. However, its historical and cultural value had already been recognized in 1978, when it was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Centuries of expansion have brought the mine to an impressive size. It spreads over 9 levels, reaching a depth of 327 meters. The network of tunnels stretches for about 300 kilometers, comprising 3,000 caves, over 200 kilometers of corridors, and 2,040 rooms with different functions. This vast underground complex has become one of the most fascinating tourist attractions in Poland, attracting more than 1 million visitors each year. The Wieliczka salt mines offer a unique sightseeing experience, combining history, art, and science in an extraordinary underground environment. Visitors can explore a hidden world of tunnels, chambers, and salt lakes, each with its own story to tell. The expansive Białowieża Forest is one of the last and largest lowland, mixed broadleaf, virgin forests in Europe. Massive patches of old-growth forest and flooded forest cover the area, scattered with symbolic, giant, ancient oak trees. Namely, the fact that the Białowieża National Park is rich in so-called deadwood, that is, simply decaying trees, brushwood, and fallen leaves. The symbol of the Białowieża Forest, however, is the European bison. The species has been saved from extinction here. Białowieża brought specimens from zoological gardens, and initially they were bred just like cows on a separate field. Only several years after the war, in 1952, the first specimens were released into the park. Currently, there are approximately 400 European bisons in Poland and around 300 specimens in Belarus. There are only 3,000 specimens in the whole world, and every single one of them has predecessors from Białowieża. Kraków blends rich history, stunning architecture, and vibrant atmosphere like no other. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1978, its medieval old town, majestic Wawel Castle, and historic Kazimierz district make it one of Europe's most fascinating destinations. At the heart of Kraków lies the Old Town Market Square, Europe's largest medieval market square. This bustling plaza is surrounded by historic townhouses and is home to the Cloth Hall, a Renaissance-era market hall that has been a center of commerce for over 700 years. One of the most iconic figures associated with Krakow's Old Town is Laikonik, a legendary bearded rider dressed in Mongol attire. Adjacent to the square stands the St. Mary's Basilica, renowned for its stunning Gothic architecture and the hourly trumpet call, a tradition that dates back centuries. Overlooking the city is the majestic Wawel Hill, where the Wawel Royal Castle and Wawel Cathedral are situated. The castle, once the residence of Polish kings, showcases a blend of Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque architecture, reflecting the city's storied past. The cathedral has been the site of numerous royal coronations and burials, making it a cornerstone of Polish heritage. Kraków is also home to one of Poland's most famous legends, the Wawel Dragon. According to folklore, the terrifying dragon once lived in a cave beneath Wawel Hill, terrorizing the townspeople until a clever shoemaker tricked it into eating a sheep stuffed with sulfur. The beast drank so much water, trying to quench its burning throat, that it exploded. Today, a statue of the dragon stands near the entrance to its legendary cave, even breathing fire at regular intervals, delighting visitors of all ages. Poland's capital, Warsaw, is a city of contrasts with sumptuous Baroque palaces and a meticulously reconstructed historical center after the devastation of World War II. Warsaw's resilient character is reflected in its eclectic architecture, ranging from socialist-style buildings to modern glass and steel structures. Reminders of the rich Jewish heritage extinguished by the Nazis lie to the west. The main attractions, however, lie on the western bank of the Vistula River, which runs through the city from south to north, where you can enjoy numerous sites embracing different architectural styles. The Old Town has been recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site and is a unique example of post-war reconstruction, while the skyscrapers of the financial district testify to the economic dynamism of modern Poland. Don't miss the Royal Route, the Chopin Museum, some magnificent palaces, and the former Jewish ghetto. The skyline of the business district is still dominated by the enormous Palace of Culture and Science donated to the nation by Stalin. Warsaw is also home to two of the most beautiful city parks in Central Europe, true green lungs of the Polish capital. Warsaw offers a fascinating mixture of attractions ranging from history to contemporary art, from traditional culture to modern innovation. The city has an extraordinarily rich cultural heritage, with carefully reconstructed monuments coexisting with modern architectural structures, creating a fascinating contrast that characterizes the unique identity of the Polish capital. Delicious restaurants, great nightclubs, and a packed calendar of events await you in what has become a European crossroads for culture, finance, and music. Gdańsk, the jewel of the Polish Baltic coast, is a city that enchants with its architectural charm. Overlooking the Baltic Sea, it is renowned for its extraordinary beauty that combines Polish, German, and Flemish influences, creating a unique and fascinating atmosphere of cobbled streets and Gothic buildings. Gdańsk has played a crucial role in modern history, being the birthplace of the Solidarity movement that contributed to the fall of communism in Europe. Today, the city presents itself as a vibrant and cosmopolitan metropolis with a maritime soul that can be felt in its historical harbour and lively beaches. Visitors are enchanted by its historical centre, carefully reconstructed after World War II. The city is also a major cultural and artistic centre, with numerous museums, galleries, and theatres enriching the tourist offer. The long street is the beating heart of Gdańsk and one of the most fascinating streets in Europe. This historic thoroughfare, lined with colourful buildings with elaborate gables, represents the essence of Hanseatic architecture. Walking along this street, you will find yourself immersed in a fairy tale atmosphere, with the facades of the houses telling stories of merchants and sailors. Each building is a masterpiece of detail. Gilded decorations, statues, and bas-reliefs adorn the facades, while wrought iron signs hang above shops and cafes. The long street culminates in Arthur's Court, once a meeting place for merchants and now a museum, housing a collection of arts and crafts. St. Mary's Basilica is an imposing monument dominating the Gdańsk skyline. This Gothic church, considered the largest brick church in the world, is a true architectural masterpiece that leaves visitors breathless. Built between the 14th and 16th centuries, the basilica can accommodate up to 25,000 worshippers. The interior is equally impressive, with soaring vaults supported by slender columns and a series of 30 side chapels. Among the church's treasures, don't miss the 15th century astronomical clock, a masterpiece of mechanical engineering of the time. The climb to the Basilica Tower, with its 405 steps, is an experience not to be missed. From the top, you can enjoy a breathtaking panoramic view of Gdańsk and the Baltic Sea. The exceptional acoustics of the church also make it a perfect venue for the organ concerts that are held regularly, offering an unforgettable sound experience. Wrocław is a fascinating city located in the southwest of Poland, about 2 hours away from both the German and Czech borders. With a millennial history dating back to the 10th century, this pearl of Central Europe has lived under the influence of different cultures, including Polish, Bohemian, Austrian, and Prussian. Today, Wrocław presents itself as a vibrant and cosmopolitan metropolis, skillfully blending its rich historical heritage with a dynamic and innovative modernity. The city is crossed by the Oder, a majestic river that with its numerous tributaries creates an intricate system of canals and islands, giving Wrocław the nickname Polish Venice. This geographical feature not only enriches the cityscape, but also offers picturesque scenery and unique opportunities to explore the city from a watery perspective. With over 640,000 inhabitants, Wrocław is the fourth most populous city in Poland and an important economic, cultural, and academic center. Its university, founded in 1702, has helped shape the city's identity as a hub of knowledge and innovation, attracting students and researchers from all over the world. The beating heart of Wrocław is undoubtedly its Rynnik, or Market Square. This vast medieval square, one of the largest in Europe, is surrounded by colorful buildings that tell centuries of history. The Old Town Hall, a Gothic masterpiece in the center of the square, is a must for architecture lovers. With its majestic tower, it offers a breathtaking panoramic view of the city. Don't forget to look for the famous bronze gnomes scattered around the square and throughout the city, an urban treasure hunt that delights visitors of all ages. Ostrów Tumski, literally Cathedral Island, is the oldest part of the city of Wrocław. Not to be confused with the neighboring Wyspa Piasek, which is really an island in the Odra River, Ostrów Tumski is the district that stands where the old town once stood, which over the centuries has become the city we know today. Dominated by the majestic Cathedral of St. John the Baptist, with its twin towers, the island is the spiritual and historical heart of Wrocław and offers an almost fairy tale atmosphere, especially at dusk when the gas lamps are lit manually. Strolling through its cobbled alleys, you can admire numerous Gothic and Baroque churches, including the Church of the Holy Cross and the Church of St. Martin. The Archdiocesan Museum, housed in a Renaissance palace, displays a valuable collection of sacred art. Don't miss the opportunity to climb the cathedral tower for a spectacular view of the city and river. It's hard to describe Toruń better than Polish chronicler Jan Długosz did back in 15th century. Despite how much it's grown and changed since his time, even back then, it was clearly special. With its decorative buildings and brick tiles covering its roofs, Toruń shines so wonderfully that few towns can match its beauty and magnificence. Today, the presence of two historical market squares serves a reminder that two towns once stood here. In the middle of the old town square stands the monumental town hall, and it is an absolute showstopper. Above its gate, you can see the city's symbol, an angel holding a key and a gate with 3 towers. If you've got a keen eye, you'll notice that in the gate is a door, which is half open and half closed. Toruń is the best preserved medieval city in terms of the number of monuments. Many medieval buildings have survived to this day, and the residential houses preserved in Toruń constitute the largest and best preserved complex of Gothic residential architecture in Northern Europe. Toruń, while being the hometown of the astronomer Nicholas Copernicus, also continues its tradition of being a strong scientific center, especially in astronomy, through one of the leading departments of the local university. In the old town, you may visit a planetarium, while in Piwnicy, near Toruń, is an observatory containing the biggest telescope in Poland. Zakopane is Poland's most famous ski region. But rather than one big ski area, there's a series of separate resorts, so you can ski a different place each day, and even head across the border to Slovakia. Zakopane is home to Wielka Krokiew, Poland's biggest and most famous ski jumping hill, which is used for international competitions. You can see just how terrifyingly steep it is by taking a chairlift up to the top, where there are views out over Zakopane. There's also a snow maze with ice sculptures and a sledging area for kids at the base of the hill. You can also explore the mountains on a snowmobile, try snowshoeing, or go ice skating. But one of the most popular things to do in Zakopane in winter is a traditional kulig horse-drawn sleigh evening. You're taken out into a snowy valley in the Tatra Mountains for a BBQ with live music and mountain tea and hot wine to warm up. The heart of Zakopane is Krupówki Street, a 1,100-meter-long, pedestrianized street lined with shops, restaurants, bars, and clubs, with the distinctive pointed-roof wooden buildings that are characteristic of Zakopane. It's busy with a stream of people and horse-drawn carts, and if you're visiting around Christmas, there are festive market stalls too. For spectacular views out over Zakopane and out to the mountains without needing skis, you can take the Białowieża funicular railway. The funicular runs from the end of Krupówki, with a souvenir market in front of the station. The journey to the top only takes 5 minutes to climb up to 1,123 meters, or there's a walking path next to the tracks. Also known as the Northern Riviera, this elegant resort blends retro charm with a modern touch. Sopot, despite its small size, offers a surprising variety of attractions ranging from natural beauty to architectural gems and unique cultural experiences. The Sopot Pier is undoubtedly the city's most iconic attraction. At 511 meters long, it is the longest wooden pier in Europe and offers a breathtaking walkway over the Baltic Sea. Originally built in 1827 and extended over the years, the pier is the beating heart of Sopot. Walking along its wooden planks, visitors can enjoy panoramic views of the Bay of Gdańsk and the city itself. At sunset, the spectacle becomes particularly impressive, with the sun dipping into the horizon, tinging the sky with pinkish hues. The pier also houses a small marina and harbour, where it is possible to rent boats or participate in short cruises along the coast. During the summer, the surrounding area comes alive with concerts, cultural events, and stalls selling souvenirs and local specialities. Bohaterów Monte Cassino Street, affectionately known as Montchiak, is Sopot's main street that runs through its heart, from the Church of St. George area up to Zdrojowy Square, located close to the pier. Montchiak is one of the most popular pedestrian streets in Poland. We felt like we were on a seaside version of Krupówki in Zakopane. There, you'll find dozens of beautiful buildings, various restaurants, cafes, shops, and stalls. In the high season, the street is super crowded, filled with an endless stream of tourists. Thankfully, at least no cars are allowed. Either way, walking down Bohatero Monte Cassino Street is one of the must-have things to do in Sopot. Scenically located on the bank of the river Vistula and encircled by low wooded hills, Kazimierz Dolny offers an impressive number of historic sites for such a tiny town. For many years, the town has been a magnet for artists, writers, architects, and journalists seeking a unique and creativity-enhancing atmosphere. Since the end of the 19th century, Kazimierz Dolny has been known as a summer resort, an artist's destination. Delightful landscapes, together with numerous remains from the past, attract visitors to this charming town. Rather sleepy and tranquil, off-season and on weekdays, Kazimierz wakes up in summer to welcome new guests, mainly arriving on a one-day trip from Warsaw. The picturesque market square, with its old wooden well, is dominated by a 14th century church and several hills, where stand the ruins of a castle. Alongside the Vistula River are several Renaissance and Baroque granaries, remembering the times when Kazimierz was an important point on the grain trail. Besides this, the town retains many traces of an extinct Jewish culture. There are also a few museums, some valuable buildings flawlessly integrated with the landscape, and a couple of galleries. But above all, Kazimierz is favored for its relaxed, bohemian atmosphere, incomparable with any other place in Poland. Just outside the old town, you can have a nice walk at the Vistula bank and the pedestrian boulevard. Do not forget to visit the Hill of Three Crosses, a hill in Kazimierz Dolny from which there is probably the most spectacular view of this town. Three crosses, referring to Golgotha, were erected in 1708 to commemorate the numerous victims of the plague that took place in these areas. The crosses that you see there now come from 1852, and most of the inscriptions from 1930. The slopes and the peak of the Three Crosses Mountain are overgrown with protected, rare vegetation. The Kazimierz Landscape Park stretches across the city. Root Ravine near the town of Kazimierz Dolny in Poland, with its twisted tree roots, is truly amazing. They create a surreal, fairy tale landscape, which is an inspiration to many painters. The walls begin to climb up to 8 meters high here. The edge of the ravine, 4 meters wide here, is overgrown by old oak lime hornbeam trees. Malbork, a small town in northern Poland, is a historical gem that attracts visitors from all over the world. Known mainly for its imposing castle, the largest brick castle in the world, Malbork offers a plunge into the medieval past. This UNESCO heritage site dominates the city skyline and tells the story of the Teutonic Order that built it in the 13th century. Malbork Castle is the jewel in the town's crown and the main reason why many visitors come here. Built in the 13th century by the Teutonic Order, it is the largest brick castle in the world and a masterpiece of Gothic architecture. The complex covers an area of over 20 hectares and comprises 3 separate castles: the High Castle, the Middle Castle, and the Low Castle. A guided tour of the castle allows you to explore the richly decorated rooms, the knight's chambers, the grand dining hall, and the castle church. Don't miss the Grand Master's Palace, the administrative heart of the Teutonic Order, and the Gdańsk Tower, connected to the castle by an elevated passageway. Inside the castle is the Malbork Castle Museum, which houses a large collection of medieval artifacts, armor, weapons, and works of art. Of particular interest is the amber collection, one of the largest in the world, which shows the importance of this fossil resin in the medieval trade of the Baltic region. During the summer, the castle hosts falconry shows and historical reenactments that bring the medieval atmosphere to life. In the evening, a sound and light show illuminates the castle walls, creating a magical atmosphere. The first impressions of Olsztyn may leave you little underwhelmed, as the post-war suburbs through which the visitors must first travel when entering the city are cluttered with displeasing grey buildings and factories. After reaching the city center, however, you will discover that Olsztyn has much more to offer than the usual post-war grayness. This is where Olsztyn hides all of its most precious treasures, most notably the picturesque Old Town, full of impressive sights and monuments. The city houses all the most important institutions of the area and draws investors from all over the country. Olsztyn is also a renowned cultural and academic center, boasting a large philharmonia and a university, in addition to the numerous cinemas, theaters, and cafes. What's more, the city is heavily influenced by both Polish and German cultures, which manifest themselves in cuisine and customs of its inhabitants. Located in the western part of the country, it has witnessed numerous historical events that have shaped its unique character. The beating heart of Poznań is its old market square, surrounded by colorful buildings full of architectural details that tell centuries of history. The city boasts an impressive blend of Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque architecture, visible in its many monuments and churches. This vast square space, surrounded by colorful Renaissance and Baroque buildings, is one of the most photographed places in the city. In the center of the square stands the majestic City Hall, a masterpiece of the 16th century Renaissance architecture. Don't miss the daily spectacle that takes place on the facade of the town hall. At midday, two mechanical goats emerge from a small door and collide 12 times, to the delight of tourists and locals alike. This tradition dates back to 1551 and commemorates a historical event related to the construction of the clock. Around the square, you will find numerous cafes, restaurants, and souvenir shops. It is the perfect place to sit at a table outside, enjoy a coffee or local beer, and watch the hustle and bustle of people. Be sure to also explore the surrounding streets, where you can discover small boutiques, art galleries, and hidden historical buildings. Poznań is also known for its lively cultural scene, with numerous museums, art galleries, and theaters offering entertainment for all tastes. The presence of several university faculties gives the city a young and dynamic atmosphere, with cafes, restaurants, and nightclubs enlivening its streets. No less important is Poznań's role as a trade and exhibition center, with its modern business district and numerous international trade fairs attracting visitors from all over the world. Poland concludes the journey with a gentle yet lasting echo. Every moment here lingers in the mind. The old streets, the warm smiles, the shifting colors of the seasons. It is a country that makes you want to keep exploring, yet never quite say goodbye. And perhaps that very feeling is the most beautiful thing a journey can leave behind.